Now the next topic is what? Interstate outward supply, not inward, outward, going out, outward supply. From here I am sending the goods somewhere. I'm not importing. This is just export. So it is a different separate topic under the interstate supply. One is inward, another is outward. Outward means from our state we are sending the goods somewhere else, some other state, some other country. So here we have to discuss about the interstate outward supply. What is the interstate outward supply of goods? Outward supply. What is outward supply? Supply of goods and services made by the taxpayer, that is sales or transfers. So here the important point, what we got here? That is sales, not purchase. Purchase comes under the inward supply. So here it is outward supplies. Two terms we got. One is goods and services we have to supply. Secondly, made by the taxpayers. This is the tax made by the taxpayer. For what purpose? For the sales of goods or transfer of goods from one place to the another place, from one state to the another state, from one country to the another country. Do not bring the goods, send the goods. We are sending the goods from one place to the another place. So that is known as what? Outward supply. Remember, outward supply means sales. The sales, word sales is there. Outward supply means sales. Remember it. Next, interstate. Step by step, if we go, number one, goods and services, transfer, sales. Remember the word one by one. Okay, goods and services, sales, transfer. Next, interstate. When the supplier and the place of supply are in different states or union territories. So here also the same thing comes. That means there should not be from one place to another place within the state. The transfer should be in between not only two places but also two states. Next, hence, interstate outward supply means, what does it mean? Number one, sales to other states. Number two, exports outside India. It will also be considered export, not import. Next, supplies to SEG unit and stock transfers between branches in different state. So now what we got is four different interstate outward supply where sales to other states considered, where exports are considered, where supplies to SEG, special economic zone, where generally the government considered the goods and services to be transferred very easily. They have been provided different facilities also for the growth of the economy. They have been always provided, encouraged the export and supply of goods and services easily with certain boundary, with certain economics rules. So these special economic zones are very important for the upgradation of the economy of a state. So in case of the outward supply, the special economic zones are also considered. So see, these are different categories what we got. First of all, only normal, it is outward sales, different states. Secondly, what we got? Export, that is outside the country. Third, we got the economic, special economic zone. All zones are not special economic zone. It will be considered by the government as a special economic zone few states. So those states are also considered as outward supply of goods. Comes under the outward supply of goods. And definitely they will get all privileges. Now, stock transfers between the branches in different states. Different states, there may be branches for the same product. And that supply is also known as interstate supply. Any brand, if you consider, any brand. it may be food brand, it may be cloth brand, it may be shoes brand. If there are different outlet branches in different areas, even in case of the educational institutions also, if you consider that also, if there is a supply of services as well as goods, will be considered under outward supply. Say, for example, here one Indian Maruti company is there. Now, this is the place where the Maruti's head office is here. They are supplying. If the same Maruti office is there in some other state also, and they are supplying the vehicles to those states, those are also considered as interstate supply, right? So, in case of the last point, what I am discussing about the last point, in case of the branches, if it is there any of the states, any of the country for a specific product, if there is any supply for that type of goods and services, that will be considered as interstate supply. As I told you, in case of the institutions also, even in case of the educational institutions, Kidsy is a brand. They're providing services all around in India. So that Kidsy, if the head office is there in the Delhi, they're providing the services from here, the different branches in all over the states, all over the country, among different states, that will be considered as interstate supply of services. So, this is all about the interstate outward supply of goods and services. So, see the next, what is the tax treatment for that type of outward services, not as a whole? Tax treatment for outward supply of goods and services. So, what are the tax treatments? IGST, integrated GST, is levied on interstate outward supply. Same. In case of inward, whatever is implemented, in case of outward also, same thing is implemented. So, in case of the outward supply of goods also, IGST is implemented. Repeatedly, I'm mentioning the full form of IGST. Why? Is because you have to remember it. IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax, is implemented for the outward supply of goods and services to different states. The supplier collects IGST from the buyer and deposit it with the central government. So, in case of the outward goods supply, the tax treatment is what? The tax is collected from the buyer, not from the seller. Those who buys the commodities, from them the tax is always collected, because we are sending the goods to someone else, some other state, some other country. So to whom we have sent it, the person to whom, the state to which, the country to which we are sending the goods, we will charge the tax from them. Suppose I am India, I am here sitting, you are US, you are in UK. So in case of outward supply, what I will do, I will send my goods, Indian goods, to you, UK, to you, US. You are liable to pay the tax to me, India. From UK, you have to pay the tax to me. From US, you have to pay the tax to me, IGST. That you have to pay the IGST. So whenever you pay the IGST to the person, to the supplier, that supplier has to deposit it to whom? Central government. Because tax does not come to the supplier, tax does not come to the buyer or seller or trader or manufacturer. Tax always we need to pay. To whom? Government. For what purpose? For the developmental purpose. So, economic growth. Tax plays a vital role in economic growth of a country. So, whatever money we will receive as a tax for outward supply of goods, that we have to deposit it into the central government, and central government accordingly they will take the step whatever is required. Next, examples you just considered. What are the examples we can consider here? A dealer in Telangana sells goods worth rupees 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs, whatever it is, 50,000 to a buyer in Maharashtra. It's a very minimal amount I'm considering. So you can consider any amount of money. This is an interstate outward supply of goods and services, and IGST is charged at the rate of how much? 18%. Because IGST is one tax. If it is one tax, the tax rate is also one. The total tax rate is how much? 18%. The total value of the goods, if it is 50,000, so we have to charge the 18% tax. If it is 1 lakh, straight calculations, so 1 lakh, then 18% how much comes? 18,000. That means 1 lakh rupees supply of goods, 18,000 rupees you have to pay for tax only. That means another 82,000 rupees is your income. You cannot consider it as your profit. It will be considered as your income. From income, again, the deductions will come, and it is a different policy to find out all these things. But in case of the tax, always remember IGST rate is considered mostly 18% for interstate outward supply of goods and services. It varies for company to company, different product to product, mostly. So that is why, on an average, it is always considered as 18% IGST. So this is just an example. Don't consider it as 18% only. As I told you, it differs from state to state, it differs from product to product. It depends on the services, whatever you are providing. So that's why we cannot consider only 18%. It is the treatment of the tax for outward supply of goods and services.